morning, students. Today we are going to start a new section in that in this semester textbook that's regarding the systematics. I think it's balance portion is already started by Elizabeth teacher, and you are studying that areas. So I have to start its beginning portion. It's a term, simple terms. Actually, after studying these things, you have to proceed to that areas. Anyway, today we can start with that terms relating with systematics. Okay, get ready. Data collection and presentation. Statistical terms. So many terms are there in statistics. Today we are going to see some of the terms. Before that, we need to understand what is the purpose of statistics. What is the purpose? Actually, why we are studying the statistics? Because you think that you have some data means a set of information relating with something. For example, the what the fruit yield out of a farmyard. Set of data is there, this much in each year, or otherwise in month ways, but you don't know how to process it, how to analyze it, how to make an assumption about next year. So in such situations you need the help of this knowledge, statistical knowledge. So yeah, after finishing this degree UG course, those who wish to proceed to PG, after PG you can do so many research, and for research we can only reach our conclusion after performing this statistics. So statistics in the UG course itself, you are laying the foundation to learn about the statistics. So that is the purpose. Then what is population? Population. Simply population. What is population? Human itself a population. And what is its peculiarity? Because in statistics, population means it is a well-defined group of individuals. All are of same type. It's a well-defined group of individuals. And they are studying in that time. In that particular time, they are considered for studying with relation to something. So, or some observation relating to a particular aspect of that population. That is, we need to understand about population. I think it's very clear for you. Population, simply what is human population? Population means human population is an example. That's what I think. Population. Which group we are considering at a particular time for studying about. That is called population. Only that much. Next, then sample. What is the difference of sample from population? When considering the size, the sample size is very less when compared with the size of the population. So it's very difficult to go and study and to collect information from each and every unit member of a population. In that time, that situation, we are taking a representative group out of this population for our study, and we are making inference out of it. That small representative group of population is called a sample. So for example, from your class, need to for example need to study about your marks. Then some person may feel that it's very difficult to go and ask each and every person about what's your mark, then he can just randomly choose some person here and there, and can take this randomly selected as a small group representing the whole students in your class. That small group is called a sample. then you think that whether the result we reach at the end of this study will be correct. There's more chance for bias and error so its result that we are attaining after studying the sample is mainly based on so many assumptions, not according to a correct observation. That is a drawback of sample. And example for earthworm study. Earthworm studies, is it possible to go everywhere and to collect all earthworm? No, we are not doing that. We are collecting only samples from, we are taking samples only from only a few number of earthworms representing a particular species and study about that species. It is very difficult to study about a species by considering taking all earthworms belonging to that species. So then, difference between sample and population. What is the difference? It's very clear to you, I think. Population means include all elements of the study group. Sample means it is subset of population of manageable size. It contains more members and it contains few members. Now, errors are negligible in the case of population, but here sampling errors is more. Then next, census versus sample survey. As a term itself, I think I know whether you are familiar with census, or some officials may come to our house and take details about our family members, their age, who is the father's name, his profession, like that. That is census. Then sample surveys also there. Sample surveys means is not that much detailed study. Means sample survey means taking a representative out of big population and carried out study on that small one. So survey. Survey it is a tool for what? To collect data and also information from all or some units of population and to compile. Then we are arranging that valuable information. Types of survey that are census and sample survey. Census. What is census? Counting entire population at a specific time. Then a periodic collection. Example is census taken by the countries. And it is applicable in which all conditions in research, planning and business marketing is usually applied. Then what is sample survey? It is done only after taking a representative group for determining its their characteristics of a large group. Then what is the requirement? We need a good, that term is very important, good representative of Indian population. Then we will get a set of data out of that small small sample, a small sample unit. Then we need to expand that data. For example, we think that out of one coconut tree, we get this month 20 coconuts. Oh, then in this way, 10 coconut trees are in my farmyard. Then I can assume that this much coconut. We are expanding that data to get an idea about the information representing the whole group. That is expansion of that data. So many chance for error also there. Then two parts of estimate. Estimates have two parts. Point estimate also there and margin error also there. It's not that much detail about that we are discussing here. Next, um, in sample survey, the assumptions that we reached should be tested to identify, to measure how much bias is happened. Bias means any errors happened in that study because of our assumptions. Because we sometimes we make some guesswork. It may be like that. it can be a mistake sometimes. So there is chance for some bias based upon our mental way of thinking. Okay. Then when it is used, sample survey, whenever which all situation census is not possible, there is only one method to study is sample survey. Examples, the examples given here are relating to our election, exit polls and Gallup polls, predictions about what would be the result, which party is going to be elected, like that. In such situations, sample surveys are doing. Gallup polls, public opinion assessment for situations like vote forecasting in election, and also exit polls, opinion poll of people leaving polling station. Okay, that much. The difference between census and sample survey. Census is carried by government or international agencies, but sample surveys are done by agencies for collecting information about any population. Some agencies are doing that. Then census is more reliable and accurate. There is more chance for error in sample survey. In the case of census, it is time consuming. It is sample survey is quick, and the census is very expensive and need more manpower. Sample survey is inexpensive and need less manpower. Census is not convenient. Sample survey is more convenient. Then other terms that is common in statistics. Unit. What is unit? For example, I will tell a example first. For studying, what we need to study. Take the case of the yield of mango trees in a farmyard. Here, a unit means the mango yield of a single mango tree. That's that unit. I think it's very clear for you. So unit, what is unit? It's the smallest object, smallest unit or individual that can give enough information about that entire population, and also it represents the basic, it's the smallest unit. And in the case of surveys, they are called as sampling units. In the case of experiments, they are called experimental units. Examples are given here. In the case of areas for that taken for study, small sub areas are units. And for in the case of studying earthworms, each earthworm from sampled area is a unit. Next. Variable. Variable as the term itself denotes that something is going on changing. What is variable? It's a characteristics. It's a characteristics with respect to which sample differ from each other. So take the case of height with respect to the entire students in your class. With respect to height, so many difference exists between you all. Correct? That is a variable. Height is a character, and it has so many values when considering each and every student in your class. So it can consider as a variable because it is a character, but it has so many varying result variable. Examples: animals differ in height, weight, age. Types: quantitative variables are there, qualitative. Quantitative means quantity wise, if we can measure a variable, that type are called quantitative. Qualitative means we cannot measure quantity wise. How much is not easy to measure. There are quality because example eye color, fragrance. If fragrance is there, how many kg fragrance is there? Is it possible? No, it's not possible. So that's why qualitative variable and quantitative variable. Then attribute. Attribute also something relating to this qualitative variables. Attribute means it's a qualitative variable. It can be counted. To some extent, we count, and also we can enumerate, but it's difficult to measure accurately. Example: habit of smoking. How many have the habit of smoking? That we it's not easy to measure, but we can count or enumerate. How many females are there? How many males are there? We can enumerate it, but cannot measure. Yes, examples. Then variate. Variate is some the term wise its resemblance with variable. So variate is a figure, it's a number or value with respect to each character. Because if height we consider, there will be a value against that variable. Height maybe 160 centimeter. That is a variate. Particular values of variable is called variate. Example 170 centimeter of height. Then constant. What is constant? Constant means a particular value, a particular thing, quantity. It is not varying among the members of the population considered for study. That is called constant. Okay. Then example, we consider the case of a conical flask. The amount of liquid that can be accommodated inside that conical flask, that volume is constant. Whenever if we take whatever type means that whole conical flask that we are taken should be of same capacity, only then it's applicable. 250 ml, if we are considering all 250 ml conical flask, the volume of water can be occupied in that will be of 250 ml. This example. Then parameter. What is parameter? Parameter we need to understand. If we consider a variable like height, and we are taking a paper and started to write the height of all. Then each and everybody, Raji, Mary, this much, Aparna, this much height, Bibin, this much, Ajesh, this much, all everybody's height we are writing one by one. So many values we got. Okay. Then as an average, we need to have a single number. So what we are doing? We are adding all this value and dividing it with that total number of students. Because we are going to have a mean value. Then we can tell that it's altogether the students of this class have an average height of this much. Think the matter is very clear to you. Parameter is a numerical property or characteristic or fact. It can describe a population. So if I tell that around 150 centimeter is the range of height of students in second BC. It's a character. To that I can express about that particular variable relating to your class. Different type of parameters of locations are mean, median, mode. I think you are already finished or studying all these things now in your systematics portion. Examples. Here I took the case of length. Case of length also, so many values we got, and we need to consider. We need to have an average value. That mean value is a parameter. So if we consider a population can have many parameters. Parameters relating to height, parameters relating to age, parameter relating to what else? Whatever it be. Next, data. What is data? Data means what information we collected out of that studying population. That is data. It may be quantitative, qualitative, or whatever it be. Then two types of data is there: primary data and secondary data. Primary data means the data that the investigator directly go and collect directly from the studying area. That type of data are called primary data. Secondary means what? We are not the investigator, not directly taking data from the study area, but instead what he is doing, he is referring some journals and collecting that information from that secondary resources. That means some persons before that itself collected all that data and published in one journal, and later this investigator is going and collecting this data out of that journal. So it is called the secondary data. Um, Then inference. Inference means what conclusion, what observation, what assumption, what we are gaining, we are reaching at the end of the study. Then arrangement of data, very important. Arrange. Now we have so many data. It's very random, in an orderless way. We collected so many data. Oh, looking over this, you could mad how to go through this data. What we need to do, we need to arrange all this data. So that arrangement, that data arrangement, so many terms are there. We are going to understand about all those terms now. This is a tabulation of that arrangement of data. Say one example only, nothing more regarding that. Terms used in data collection. Observation means each numerical entry. Means regarding if consider height 160 centimeter, that entry is a observation. Then raw data means for height we got so many values. Is simply with us. There is no arrangement or anything regarding that height. So height, so many figures I have. Is called raw data. There's no order. Then array. Array means then we are going to arrange it in an ascending order or descending order based on its magnitude from its. Okay, I think it's very clear to you. Then range. What is the range? Range means we are consider. We need to find the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. What would be that value? That value is called the range. For example, if considering height of the students in second DC, we need to consider who got the highest height and who got the lowest height. We need to subtract lowest from highest value, then we will get a value, and that obtained value is called the range. Okay. Then tabulation. Tabulation means we are arranging the collected data in tabular column. That process is called tabulation. And in the tabulation, rows are there, columns are there. So many types of tabulations are there. Simple tabulation, double tabulation, complex tabulation. Simple tabulation means there only one particular feature or attribute is considered. Taking the case of height itself, first column name of students and second column height. So they consider only height. That is simple type based on one feature only. Example given here is world population on base of religion classification. So tabulation. Double tabulation means along with the height, we are going to tabulate what complexion. No, complexion. What else we can height? Uh, those who how many have passed in first semester result. That we can tabulate. Or only as an example, I just told you now. Double tabulation means we are considering some other features, attribute also along with that. The example given here is world population on base of religion and language. Then complex tabulation means we are considering more than two attributes. Here example, world population based on religion, language, sex, literacy, etc. Next, frequency distribution, also very important. Frequency distribution. So that term you need to give more attention. Frequency. What? Number of observations within certain range of values under investigation. That's what. Certain range. In this type, we are grouping the whole observation in certain class or range. And if consider a particular range, then we are giving a number. How many observations are noticed out of that particular range? That is called a frequency distribution. Okay. On seeing that one example, it will be more clear to you. I will show you that now. If classify random data into class or class intervals, because we consider the case of height itself, those how the height range between 150 to 155 centimeter in one class. The next class 155 to 160 centimeter belongs to a second class. Then another grouping also there. Class means or grouping. That's right. Then 160 to 165 centimeter. That form another class. And we can make observations like how how many included in the first class. First class means how the height in the range between 150 and 155. For example, five students have the height in between that range, so we can make that frequency as 5. I'll show you the figure, that time it will be more clear to you. Going to the figure. Hmm. It is relating with some other variable. This is a class wise, and 1 to 50 comes under A one group, and 51 to 100 another group, and 101 to 150 another group. And frequency means this 1 to 50, how many observations are present in that population considered for study, how value within this range, that number of observation is called its frequency. Frequency means number of observations that fall in the range of a particular class. In that way, it's very simple way. In that way, you need to understand that frequency means what? It's the number of observation comes under the range of a particular class. Okay, that's the frequency. Then it can be expressed in the form of histogram, frequency polygon, frequency curve, anything like that. Then relative frequency and cumulative frequency are the two other terms we need to understand. Relative frequency means what? Relative frequency means we are telling a proportion. After making observation between that range, how many observations are there? We make some observation. Once more, I will show you that figure. Uh, Between this range 12 observations we noted, and how many got values between the range of 5118 observations are there, we noted that. In that way we got so many observations. It's a frequency, so we need to find a proportion, how much it occupies, how much in that population. For that, what we need to do? We need to divide each frequency by total observation. Total means we need to sum all frequency, then we get the total observation. 12 divided by 67. That is the relative frequency when it is converted to percentage. Then we can check it whether it is correct or not by summing up all the relative frequency. Then it would be 100. Okay, that is relative. Relative means we can know a proportion, how much it comes. It will present a proportion of each class out of total observation. Out of total observation, what is the proportion of each class? Class means that range. It's a proportion. This is the relative frequency. Equation, what is equation? Frequency divided by total number of observation. Figure I already shown to you. Then cumulative frequency. Cumulative means here you refer to this figure. Here in this range the frequency is 2. So the cumulative frequency also same as. Then next class, its frequency is 5. But cumulative, for getting cumulative, we need to add this class value frequency with plus all its previous frequency value. So 5 plus 2, 7. Then come to next class 9. Frequency we got is 9, but for getting cumulative we need to sum 9 plus 5 plus 2. Then it will be 16 like that. Regarding the next class 14, then we need to add 14 plus 9 plus 5 plus 2 is 30. That is cumulative. It's the number of data elements in that class and all previous class. That is cumulative. With this, we finish today's section, and also I have finished all the topics for you in the third semester. So in the coming section onwards, we will start the revision, and then I will tell you later in what way we are going to start our revision section. Okay, thank you.